everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Janine Between the Lines, literature and lifestyle for leisure. It's been a while since I did any kind of CAR-RONICLE episode, and I'm actually on the way home from work. I am attempting to stay dedicated to my somewhat weekly episodes during AAPI Heritage Month, and I thought I could talk to you guys about two things that I kind of want to talk to. You know why I like the idea of this? It kind of just reminds me of me leaving unprecedented and unnecessarily long voicemails to my friends. So half of this is going to be a catch-up, and half of this is going to be a listener question. So if you're excited for this episode, I don't know why, but I get myself excited for shorter episodes because I know that I'm a wild woman and I can talk for hours, and I feel like it's more realistic for you guys to listen to little tidbits. But if you're excited to listen, and if you like this podcast, do me a huge solid. You don't even have to leave me words, but rate me on Apple Podcasts or share me to your friends and fam. And also, disclaimer, I'm following all road rules, seatbelts on, being safe. So stay tuned to listen. So, first off, I kind of wanted to start this episode with a baby life update, and it's taken me a little bit to work through it. But I kind of wanted to title this episode, When Things Don't Go Your Way, with ... at the end, because I'm a dramatic person. So, if you guys have been listeners for a while, you know that I am a full-time travel nurse, and I'm also a full-time student, and I hit a snag in the road, which is going to ultimately push my master's graduation a significant amount. I was prospectively eligible to graduate in December of this year, but it is being postponed due to course enrollment issues to summer of next year. I don't want to say glorified, but I am definitely a type A person, and I'm also somebody who, historically, when I strive for something or when I put my mind towards something that I really want to achieve, I am lock it down on the first try. I have to give you a job update too, but it was very, very discouraging for me talking to my counselors and the academic advisors because of the progression of this, and hearing that news and knowing that my plan to graduate and become a full-time teacher in the spring has gone to rubble because of these complications. So, needless to say, I was pretty temporarily depressed for a few days, and I always like to look on the bright side of things, but it really, really stinks when you plan for, a big event like graduation and a career change, and then when things don't go your way, it's just so discouraging. And by the way, guys, just hug a nurse one of these days, because we're all tired and burnt out, and it's just the black cherry on top, knowing that along with exhaustion and along with things not being our way in the hospital and in practice, that was just another punch in the gut to know that I will have to stick to the bedside for a little longer because of this little snag in my degree completion plan. So, on the bright side, which is something that I talked to one of my counselors about, and I'm always trying to look on the bright side of things, I try to date myself back to when I was graduating with my bachelor's, and I think that's the reason why I was so upset about being postponed again is, again, this is something, if you're a long-time listener, I do have a significant health history that had me held back from graduating nursing school on time, and there was just a little bit of like baby PTSD about having this graduation pushed, and a lot of beating myself up about why can't things ever go my way? Why can't anything that has to do with school, this is me being a whiny loser, why can't anything that goes on with school go the way I want it to? This is the second time in a row my graduation has to be postponed for this reason or another. But the way that I see it, now that I'm in a happier and more accepting mindset, is that's more time for me to dedicate to the things that I love, the people that I love. School has been my number one stressor since I started, and with my new progression I would be part-time until the summer, so it's kind of a blessing in disguise and a little bit of a relief that I would never have expected to have, especially in the summer in Portland, Maine. So I am excited for that, and I've decided that I've just got to take it in stride, man. Just got to take it in stride, and when one door closes, another submarine leaves the port. I'm like low-key delirious. But yeah, that's my life update, guys. So still teaching part-time, but tenured and master's degree, Janine, between the lines, is pending summer of 2022. So I hope you guys are around with me there. Oh, also, guess what that frees up time for? More time dedicated to my podcast. So we will be seeing a lot of each other, a lot more in the near future. So the next part of this episode is dedicated to one of my guests that was actually on here. Shouts out to my little mini-me, Tina. If you want to listen to our episode, I don't remember what OTT it is, but it's titled Minimalism Mondays. And she wrote me in a question, which I kind of wanted to address, and I thought it would be fun to talk about on my little about 45-minute commute. So she wrote to me earlier this morning, and she said, when or how do you cut off a friend with benefits that has lasted longer than a few months? So let me preface this topic with this fact. I have never successfully been in a friends with benefits situation. I am way too self-conscious about myself and way too emotionally invested in literally everything I do. I can meet and have a 2-minute conversation with my cashier at the grocery store and be emotionally invested in that exchange. So I have never been in that situation. I've had similar situations, but there was never a mutual understanding between me and one other person, like, hey, we are just friends. I think it's okay for us to be sexually involved, but I don't want it to go any further than a relationship. And you guessed it, I'm always the one who wanted a serious relationship. So I think, just to kind of directly but indirectly answer your question, whenever a friends with benefits situation is not serving you, or if you have to question when to cut it off, I think that's the time you have to cut it. So let me give you an example. So say month 1, month 2, you're in this shindig together and you're involved and you're being satisfied appropriately. And it's kind of funny because I think of it in a physiological sense, because Tina is also a nurse. But what do you think of when you think of your needs? Let's say, am I really going to relate this to the hospital? But let's say you're in the hospital, right? And you get hurt, and eventually you get better. You take medicine, you start improving your lifestyle, you start going out with friends, you start meeting new people, and your needs over time change. So not only will your needs over time change in relation to like your general lifestyle, but your needs probably with that person will change, and that can go in many directions. It can go from needing more, either physically or emotionally, out of that person, or it can go from needing less, which is you have met your friends with benefits sexual quota. Should I be so bold to term that? Alright, I'll TM it. Who knows? Maybe it'll go viral or something. But I feel like that's the time. If you're contemplating when, JK, I'll bleep your name out. But anyways, if you're finding yourself asking yourself, do I still need to be in this situationship? I don't mean to put it in that category, but that's what I'm guessing is happening. If you, like I said, if you're questioning whether, my question would be, and this would require more information on both our parts, but depending on like let's take the benefits out of this. Depending on your friendship, I wonder how open and honest you can be with this person to have a conversation and say, hey, how are you feel? Like, how do you, like, feel it out? You know what I mean? Like, if you were a very close friend before you started becoming, like, sexually involved, or intimately involved, I should say, are you comfortable with being friends with this person without the physical aspects? Or do you even think there's going to be a friendship if you take that physical part away? That's something that's important to weigh. I guess this is the plight I must suffer to record a CAR-RONICLE, because I can't control who is calling me. So, anyways, coming back to the topic of weighing the importance of that friendship. That will be a big factor in whether or not you will be able to amicably and successfully end that friends with benefits situationship. Another thing to ask yourself too is, like, why do you want to end it? Are you ending it because you're interested in someone else? Are you ending it because you're feeling a little bit, or if you're contemplating like, I don't want to be involved in this manner anymore, and you just want to move on? Or are you ending it because maybe you or the other party has acted up, and someone caught the feels? That's something. That is something to ponder. But my advice to you, possibly unknown listener, is do what's important for you. Do what, I'm not going to say do what makes you happy, because sometimes what's right for you will not always bring you joy right off the jump. It's a calculated decision to end any kind of relationship or situationship, because people are, if you made a decision in the first place to become friends with benefits with someone, then you cared about that person at least at some point during, either before or during that process between that relationship. Like, you had more than just intention. That's what the friends part implies. But, you know, sometimes I'm different sometimes. Like, I can't get diggity down. Like I said, I'm too invested in who who I connect with on that standpoint. So I hope that helped somewhat. You got me thinking on my butt end of work, but yeah. Why don't you guys let me know? I want you to sound off either in my email or on my Instagram post. Let me know, how do you know when it's time for a friends with benefits situation to end? I am so curious. And I love talking about juicy stuff like this. So let me know what you guys think. And I'm looking forward to seeing your responses if it's similar to mine. All right, everyone. That concludes today's voicemail CAR-RONICLES conversation. I hope you enjoyed this little segment. I'm surprised that I don't do this more often. This is my regular commute, but let me tell you, for the past... How long have I been nursing? For the past 2 travel assignments I've been on, I have been just downright throttled in every aspect. So I couldn't really dedicate time to keep up that CAR-RONICLES series. But I'm going to try to do one at least once a month, if you guys like these. So, like I said, if you so choose, I would really, really love it if you liked and shared this podcast. Shout me out at JanineBTL on Twitter, or Janine Between the Lines on Instagram. We have a very, very exciting summer coming up and fall coming up. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to end season 2 at the end of summer. So stay up to date on all of my social pages. And if you need anything else from me that can't be reached by Twitter or Instagram, you can email me at JanineBetweenTheLines@gmail.com. I would love to get more kind of advice column-esque submissions through there. So I'm always open and I'm always responding. I love to hear from you guys. So thank you so much for listening to me ramble on my commute. I love you all, and I hope... Let me give you, final words. So, when things don't go your way, I'm with you. And it's a hard year. We're going through hard things together, and I just want to... If anyone else out there is struggling in any which way, just know I'm locking arms with you, because I'm a clingy son of a gun, and we will get through anything together. So, I love you guys. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.